Hey everybody, Rich here with Fanatik, and today we are checking out the new Forbidden Dreadnought. So if you're not familiar with Forbidden, they are a company based out of Cumberland, BC, who kind of brought the high single pivot suspension design to trail bikes with their first bike, the Druid, and now they've come out with what everyone's asking for, a longer, slacker, more travel bike, and that is the Dreadnought that we have here today. So a high single pivot suspension design was originally found on just downhill race bikes, because with a high single pivot, you have a rearward axle path at the beginning of the travel to help you accelerate through rough terrain so that wheel moves out of the way of objects and then up and over it. Like I said, traditionally this was only found on downhill bikes, but Forbidden decided that this was something that could be applicable to trail bikes as well, which brought forth the Druid, their shorter travel bike. And then of course, everyone's clamoring for a longer travel bike, and that's where the Dreadnought came in. So what is the Dreadnought all about? It's definitely a bike that wants to go fast and ride in steep terrain. It's got 154 millimeters of rear wheel travel, and while that doesn't sound like a lot compared to some other enduro bikes, with that high single pivot design, it actually feels like a lot more. I'd say you feel like you're riding on like a 170 bike. So it's 154 millimeters of rear wheel travel out back, and you can pair it with a 170, or you can even go up to a 190 dual crown fork with the proper axle to crown measurements, which is pretty cool. These bikes are pretty long. It's a 284 millimeter reach on the large, which is what I'm riding. You got a 63.5 head tube angle for that steeper terrain, which is what this bike is built for. So as I mentioned, this is a longer travel bike, kind of more enduro focused. So it's not built to win you any races up the hill. However, they have made sure that it is pedal friendly with a really steep seat tube angle to get you forward over that bottom bracket in a nice comfortable pedaling position so you can crank your way up hills. I really do like how these bikes climb up technical terrain with that high single pivot. Feels like you got a lot of grip. They have a lot of cool details on these bikes. You know, integrated chain guide on the high single pivot. You've got these little fenders in the back to kind of protect from dirt and muck, whatnot. These bikes also come with a couple shock options. You can either get the Fox X2, or as you can see, I've got here the Push 11.6 if you want something a little fancier. So some other cool features. Forbidden really thinks about the design of these bikes for all of their different sizes. Traditionally with a lot of brands, you'll see the same chainstay sizes on every size of the bike, but Forbidden does size specific chainstays, which is really cool, so that each bike rides really precise for your size. Another cool feature, they've also got the tool mounts on the top tube, on the downside of the top tube. I have a tube, you know, CO2, a couple tools that I like to strap in there. So that's really cool, these minor details that they think about. Internal routing throughout, threaded bottom bracket. This bike I've been really impressed with. I've ridden some other longer travel bikes, and of course I had ridden the Druid and loved how that bike rode. While that was a 130 bike, it felt like a lot more, and as soon as I heard they were coming out with a longer travel bike, I had to hop on it because everybody wants a bigger bike, and the Dreadnought has not disappointed. You get it in rough, steep terrain, and it just likes to accelerate. The faster you go on this thing, the more it rewards you, which is really awesome. So obviously custom is what we do at Fanatik, and these bikes will of course be in the custom bike builder. We've got this stealth frame that I have, which I really like. There's also two other colors available, the Deep Space 9, which is kind of a black to blue fade, or what they're calling Nerds, which I haven't seen in person yet. It's kind of like a purple to pink fade. Pretty unique colors, pretty out there. So you can get on the custom bike builder, build one up. If you have any questions, you can always call in or chat. I of course own the bike, so I can give you all of the details that you want. Give us an email at sales@fanatikbike.com, hop in the bike builder, and we'll see you later.